Happy Monday. Welcome in another edition of Philly Voice Sports Bets. We appreciate you hanging with us. Hopefully you had a better weekend than the Phillies. Maybe you had a good Friday, and then it just all went to you know what. Devan Kaney is here. Harry Mays. I'm Eitan Shander. Matt Cherico is producing. We appreciate you out there. So you can hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the Philly Voice YouTube channel. But most importantly, because we're talking about stuff that may be a day or a week or even a month or two out, you can let us know in the comments section what you're thinking, leans, locks, any likes that you may have, and we'll react and read accordingly. Just, keep it on the level, of course. So everything today, as you know, is brought to you by Rita's.
Everybody! Go candy crazy with Rita's new Candy Kapow Ice. And new app users get a free ice when they download and use offer code SWEET. Stop by your local Rita's today and try it before it's gone. Offer expires September 4th.
Be cool, eat a Rita's.
All right. We had a Friday was interesting because it was the lone bright spot, right, for the Philadelphia Phillies. Mm-hmm. We got to see Jalen Hurts, everybody but Devontae Smith and Jason Kelce, essentially, that we wanted to see on the offense. So, Harry, we were talking about this earlier, and Devin had a really good point about, hey, we had one game, one preseason. We may not see these guys, mind you, against Cleveland if they have good practices. So what better time now, right, Devin, to start talking about week one?
Exactly, and how that preseason game may or may not have changed anyone's, including myself's, opinion on how the Eagles are going to do week one. I was honestly kind of worried. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, it's the Lions, but also, has anyone been watching Hard Knocks? I'm kind of intimidated. I wasn't sure if the Eagles would pull that one off. After watching just that first drive in Friday's game, I think the Eagles definitely cover, and I am a lot more confident in this team than I was before watching that preseason game.
Yeah, I was on the side of the Eagles covering that number in week one already, and after watching, well, it was 3.5. The number that I was
open at that. It opened at 4.5. And
okay,
so that's why I asked.
I have it at 4.
Okay,
I'm still at 4, but I guess it just depends.
But hold on. This is interesting, right? This is why we always talk. And each one of us are associated, if you will, with a different sports book. Mm-hmm. And it opened, I know initially, like Market Discovery, it opened at 4.5. And I know a lot of places where Harry is looking in others, it is down to 3.5, but you still may be able to get it at 4. And you're saying right now you're looking at it at 4.
Mine's at 4, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're still back and forth. So that's why I asked, Harry, where you got in.
Well, I got in on DraftKings at 3.5.
Well, no, where is like the number, right? Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, I try not to let preseason sort of cloud my judgment one way or the other, positive or negative. Okay. But it's hard to come away from that game thinking that Jalen Hurts didn't look pretty darn good. And that offense is going to be something, once they get all the parts on the field at the same time. And, so there's a lot to like. I'm not watching Hard Knocks. There's nothing that Dan Campbell can say or wear that will get me to watch Hard Knocks. I don't believe in the Detroit Lions, no matter who is the quarterback or who is the football coach. They stink. They find ways to lose. And I think the Eagles in week one is a stone cold mortal lock.
Wow.
Wow.
How about that?
Even respond
you weren't even ready for that, were you?
I wasn't. Have you heard one of Dan Campbell's pump-up speeches?
Yeah, he's going to eat your kneecaps. Like, he's going to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
No, I'm with you. Look, I think, Devin, to your point about Campbell and these speeches and hard. Real quick. I'm going to have you set the odds here for Harry, since we've now had 2 separate conversations about Harry saying, I refuse to be associated with anything about A or B. So if Harry had to sit through one, right, and let's just say it's a 15-minute block. If Harry had to sit through one, it's 15 minutes of the most over-the-top, like all the crap that Harry would hate about Hard Knocks. That's one. The other would be a 15-minute set by Pete Davidson. What do you think would be the favorite of who Harry would hate more?
Definitely. I think the first one, given his reaction just now. I don't know.
No, nothing's worse than Pete Davidson.
Why do you hate him so much?
I just can't stand looking at him. Okay. I don't want to see him in any way, shape, or form. Like in a picture, on a video, in person, nothing. Okay. I will take Dan Campbell and the Lions all day over Mr. Davidson.
Wow.
I'm with you.
Okay, I don't know what Pete Davidson ever did to you, but
yeah,
we're gonna have to unpack that one later.
Did you go to like another comedian show and Pete opened up or something, and you were just like, this ruined my night. This ruined my Anthony Jeselnik night or something?
No.
Okay.
No. Has
All
nothing to do with that.
I'm going to give you something real quick. By the way, I'm on Detroit plus 4.5. As soon as that thing opened, I looked at it. I took the Lions plus 4.5. No, that doesn't mean that I think the Lions are going to win this football game and that I'm worried, concerned that the Eagles are going to start out 0-1. I think the Eagles do ultimately win. I wouldn't touch the money line, but 4.5. Look, 4 has become a key number. You're now over that same edge you would get at 3.5. You're getting at 4.5. And look, clearly this thing has moved in some cases a full point. I'm going to sprinkle in this conversation a couple of numbers that jump out at me because when multiple things work together, it's hard to ignore. Everybody remember Anthony Lynn, right? The former Chargers coach, right? He took over. He was the play caller last year for Detroit for the first half of the season when they went 0-8, when they started out just awful. He gets stripped of that duties. They go 7-2 against the spread to close out the year. So something changed, and it changed for the better when they stripped Anthony Lynn. And it's hard to go back to the fact that this Detroit team has probably had this game focused and circled more than any other team week one, because not only is there this new BS light that comes from Hard Knock, 44-6. You don't think that's in the guy, anybody who's coming back, you don't think that's in their mind as well?
Yeah,
all I'm saying is it's not a blowout.
No, I don't think it's
agree.
a blowout.
I agree.
That's all. All right. I thought I'd get a little more from you on those numbers there, but
No, like I said, I think after watching preseason, the Eagles will win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think it will.
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. No matter who you're playing on the road, it's always a difficult grind. It's probably going to be ugly, but I could see a 6-point win for the Eagles. It's not a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, how about this? There have been 13 teams since 2004 that started 0-8 or worse before winning their first game, right? Mm-hmm. The following year, those teams went 86, 117, and 8 against the spread, including 10, 29, and 1 against the spread as a favorite, right? So there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things that work towards the Eagles taking advantage of just a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of psychology, I think, in here. And it works, I think, for that. Let me just close on this note. We go back to Friday night, and you can have that. I'm just saying my last point. We go back to Friday night. We talk about the excitement. We talk about the level of expectation, this relief that they looked fine in their first preseason game. It's now causing Harry to throw a mortal lock on the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't think that's in their head too? A.J. Brown, hey, man, we got this. Okay, yeah, we've got this thing laid out. We're good to go. We've got this offense. We're looking at Minnesota. You don't think this is a look-ahead game? Opening?
I don't think you can look past your season opener, no matter who it is.
It's on the road against Detroit.
That's a reach.
Maybe not. All right, we don't have any Pete Davidson odds.
No, please.
Anybody like the over tonight in Cincinnati? I think I'll take the over, unless it gets to like 10.5. I think I might go over on every Phillies Reds game this series.
Really? Why?
Wow.
Because the ball is going to fly. It's Great American Small Park. You've got a couple of guys on the Reds staff who they don't strike out many guys. So if you get into jam, it's kind of tough to really get out of that. And let's reverse the point that I just made about the Eagles with the Phillies. There is no better way, I think, to bounce back out of a funk or even just being dominated by top pitching than going up against bad pitching. Like, I think these guys in the top of the lineup, Devin, are going to be surprised at how bad the pitching is going to be coming fresh off of DeGrom and then Bassett on Sunday.
Yeah, I just feel like this past weekend for the Phillies, I know it was the Mets and the Reds are two very different teams.
Right.
They just had no life, especially offensively. So I just don't see how they can bounce back that quickly. I mean, I hope you're right, but
right. And the fan in you hopes I'm right.
Yeah, but
the
also,
better says no.
Also, I want them to be prepared for the Mets when they come back to Philly this weekend. So I don't want them to almost get like too big of heads in Cincinnati and then come back and forget who they're playing against again.
Only 10 runs scored in those 3 games.
No,
Yeah, like
incredible.
I don't know.
well, I mean, look who you went up against.
Oh, I know.
Max Scherzer, Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, and Suarez actually equaled Scherzer. I
Yeah,
lost that game. What was that, 2-1?
Yep, Suarez
Yeah.
played his tail off.
All right.
Yeah, both of us, by the way. I think. What did you have, Devin? Because Harry, you had the Mets on the run
I
line.
had the Mets on the run line.
That's squashed. I had over. That's squashed.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. We discussed it on Friday, I believe. But I definitely would not have guessed. I thought the Mets were going to sweep the Phillies first of all, and Friday's game would not have been the one that I would have guessed.
That's the one they got.
Now, I stand corrected, by the way, because I have a couple of NFL futures, and we may just need to sprinkle these throughout the week here, but I'll definitely hit you with a couple, maybe whatever your favorites are. But I stand corrected. I made a mistake earlier in the show, and I'd like to correct it if that's okay with both of you.
Mm-hmm.
I do have Pete Davidson odds.
Oh,
I have odds on Pete Davidson's next girlfriend.
Oh, God.
oh, what are the options though?
Oh, there are a ton right now here. I'm going to try and screenshot this to you as I speak. Kim Kardashian is the odds-on favorite at plus 900. I just have we all been taken for some sort of ruse here, and they're just not really broken up? I doubt that, right?
I doubt that.
Yeah. So what would those odds would be? I guess like they'd get back together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this whole thing was just a mistake. Somebody made a mistake.
When does the start of a new season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians begin? Because that would be the timing on this thing, right?
Let me give you a couple more here. Amber Heard is plus 1,400. In between her and Kardashian, Phoebe Dynevor?
No idea.
Olivia, Matt Cherico, of course. If you know any of these people that we don't, I thought at least of the three of us, Devin has the better chance of knowing if it's somebody current than me and definitely Harry. Like, I know who Selena Gomez is, absolutely.
Sure.
She's plus 1,600.
Okay.
Amber Heard and Olivia O'Brien are both plus 1,400.
Never heard of Olivia.
All right, Emma Watson.
She's a singer.
Okay, Emma Watson plus 2,200.
Okay.
January Jones plus 2,500. All right, let's get into some long shots, see if there's any interest here. Shakira opens things up at 66-1. Does that happen?
No.
Absolutely not. No.
Winona Ryder at 100-1.
Talk about need of a reboot.
No.
Jennifer Aniston 125-1.
She's dated everybody.
Jen Aniston's too good for that.
Demi Lovato actually is plus 2,000.
Yeah, now there you go.
I can see that.
She's a lunatic.
Yeah, that's great value. That's crazy,
where I'd
crazy
go.
value, right?
Yeah.
All right, real quick. Miley Cyrus 150-1.
It's the ones who are like you can tell maybe slightly unstable that maybe have the better odd. Like I could see Miley, I could see Demi, maybe even like Selena Gomez.
Well,
I'm
she's
going
settled
Demi.
now. She's got like this big, is it Netflix or Amazon? She's got this big show with Martin Short and Steve Martin. Like,
Yeah, it's a good show actually.
yeah.
Is Taylor Swift on this list?
Taylor Swift is not. Last one I'll give you, Charlize Theron is 150-1.
God, no.
Goodness, no.
I may not recover if that actually happens.
Yeah, that
200-1. All right. Could you see this?
That would send me into the abyss.
Wait
I
a second.
Tell you that.
Real quick, we laughed about this last time when we talked about Kardashian's odds and Trump being 200-1. Ivanka Trump is 200-1 with Davidson. Could you see that foursome? That's one hell of a golf foursome. That's all I'd say.
isn't she married? Are we not taking marital status into account here?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, you're right. It's Hollywood. Who knows? All right, let's hit a couple of these before we get out. I wanted to just look at some NFL futures and see from a player standpoint if there was anybody, and let's look at it with our guys. If there was anybody, and I highlighted a couple that jumped out. Devin, is there one that I sent that you think was the most compelling of either leaders / individuals?
Yeah, defensive rookie of the year.
Yes.
Full homer here, but Jordan Davis plus 1,800. Am I wrong?
Here's the thing. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. I think the only thing that may work against him, and we've seen this with Fletcher, is that your numbers may not reflect how dominant you can be in the game.
Right.
And for something as stupid as an award voted on people who may not see him as enough, Like that could kill him. Where it's like, oh, interceptions and whatnot. But I'm with you. Like, I think Jordan Davis at plus 1,800 after what we saw in that preseason game in practice, etc. That's huge. I did highlight Nakobe Dean. I know he's not there yet on the depth chart, but look, Harry, you watch college more than everybody, a lot of people in the city. This is a first-round linebacker who simply got hurt. That's it. Like, there's no other rub. There's no other knock on Nakobe Dean. He's a first-round linebacker. He just got hurt.
Yeah, that's pretty good value too, at plus 1,700 for a player like that, because when healthy and he can wreck the game. I mean, he did it, in his college career at Georgia, surrounded by other great talent. You put him in, on this Eagles defense. I don't see any reason why he can't make a serious impact. Kyle Hamilton is pretty juicy to me at plus 1,000 though too, because that player is just an incredible player. Yeah. Aiden Hutchinson, there's just not enough value there. He's in Detroit. Does he get off to a good start against the Eagles with a couple of sacks?
He's going to be on the field a lot. That's what we know.
Right. But no, I like your Nakobe Dean idea.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I think both of these plays, Devin's Jordan Davis, mine, we're going to label these as ours if they hit, right? If they don't, then nobody will remember the fact that we labeled them that way. But yeah, I think that our guys here on this list actually jump out. I mean, look, if you want to put something on Devontae Wyatt, go ahead, lose your money. But there's some really good value with our guys. Ari, I know you got a college game before we get out of here, but real quick, is there any other up and down player prop that jumped out for you?
Well, I looked at the comeback player of the year, and I'm just kind of thinking here, seeing where Jameis Winston is, and then looking down the board at Michael Thomas plus 1,100. I would take that, because if Jameis is going to have any kind of a nice year, Michael Thomas is going to figure in there significantly. And I think plus 1,100 is good enough for me to take a flyer on it.
I actually had Jameis Winston as comeback player of the year, so
yeah. I think Jameis is going to have a nice year. I really do. And I'm kind of rooting for him too, believe it or not.
It's the Saints, but you do kind of want to root for him.
Yeah, maybe he'll be eating W's.
Winston, comeback player of the year. Wow. I think the logic is there. So the problem is, like, Michael Thomas, to Harry's point, is definitely going to be the main vehicle as to why Jameis Winston has some sort of major comeback. But then back to Devin's point, quarterback always gets the glory.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's hard to ignore that, hence the odds there. The only reason why I bring this up, and quick little plug here, is, I don't know, like 3 months ago when this thing first came out, we saw Christian McCaffrey on props and locks at plus 1,400. Lock that in right away. And he's moved because if he's healthy, that's all. Right,
well, Harry, he's going to get a heavy workload, that's for sure.
All I need him to be is healthy. Yeah. Okay, like Daniel Jones, get him out of here. Baker Mayfield, get him out of here. Mitchell Trubisky, Mariota, although Mariota's sneaky. We'll see. All right, give us a college game, Harry. We'll say goodbye.
I'm going to the mountains of North Carolina in early September. Appalachian State is hosting North Carolina at Boone, and that is going to be the Super Bowl in Boone, North Carolina. I can tell you that they're wound up for this. They're returning 7 starters on an offense that got 6.3 yards per play last season. They're returning 4 of their offensive linemen. Chase Bryce, the quarterback transfer, he was at Clemson, then he went to Duke, and now he's at App State. He comes back. He threw 27 touchdowns and over 3,300 yards last season. This offense is going to be electric. It was 2.5 when I put it in, getting 2.5 at home. It's now down to 2, and I took it on the money line too at plus 115. I'm riding in the elevation of Boone, North Carolina. That Tar Heel team with no Sam Howell and a lousy defense is going to get worn down in the elevation in the fourth quarter. App State with the upset.
We need to do this earlier in the show because there's no like, all right, give us a little this is like well planned out. And
this is what I give you on this show.
All right. Okay. App State. Love it. Devin, anything else on the way out for you?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, we appreciate you all hanging with us. And look, we've got a little bit now before the NFL season officially begins. But I want Harry, you to start boning up on the MTV Video Music Awards because I have odds, and Bad Bunny is not the favorite.
Oh, he's my guy, Bad
He's
Bunny.
not the favorite. That's all I'll say for Artist of the Year. For Devan Kaney, Harry
Is
B.
going to be there, though? We need to figure that out.
Is he?
If Pete's there, I'm out.
Oh, Pete Davidson's hosting.
Oh,
So
geez,
we
I'm out.
appreciate you hanging with us. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out. Make sure you're subscribed here to the Philly Voice channel across the board. Another edition of Philly Voice Sports Bets brought to you by Rita's, and we'll see you Wednesday.